In recent videos, audio, or on screen, I'll basically bring up the fact that Triple H and some other wrestling personas that, run companies or are head of creative or bookings or whatever, I've always kept the notion lately that, they're kind of getting wise, if you will. They're getting wise to the fact that there are people out there like a Sean Ross Sapp, like a Mike Johnson, a Wade Keller, and so on, that will basically report information that they have no business in reporting. Whether it's about some kind of event that's in the works that potentially will become a reality, or potential free agents that are no longer under contract to certain companies. And most of the time, these reports are, I'll be legit with you, about 75 to 85% correct. But then there are those occasions where basically even the best that do it, like a Sean Ross Sapp, if you will, and a Wade Keller, that even the best that do it, get caught off by, surprise. They get caught off by surprise. And why? Because they had no idea. No matter how much digging they did, no matter how much information they tried getting, they could not get a straight answer. And last night on Dynamite, that was, to me, the biggest example. That was the moment, in my opinion, that I've been waiting for. That is the moment that basically, in my opinion, sent a message across the internet to the likes of a Sean Ross Sapp, to the likes of a Wade Keller, to the likes, of a JD from NY206, a Just Alex, an OTR Central, a Mike Johnson, an Andrew Zarian, a Meltzer, an Alvarez. Last night was the moment I have been waiting for. That was the wrestling world telling all of them that you say you know what's going on, you say you have your sources, then what do you say about this? What's your answer to this? Because last night on Dynamite, Roderick Strong made his AEW debut. And for the longest time, even up until the moment he debuted last night, a lot of people thought that Roderick Strong was still with WWE. There was no information that he had been released. There was no information, that they had granted his release. There was no information that his contract had expired. Nothing. It was just radio silence. And last night, like I said, up to that moment he debuted and Killswitch Engage hit the airwaves, if you will, hit the loudspeakers, in the arena, everybody thought he was still with WWE. I mean, everybody probably thought he was going to get drafted this Friday or Monday to either Raw or SmackDown. And it's like, when did he get released? How did this happen? What happened? And hopefully Sean Ross Sapp will have more information. He's trying to gather information. So is Mike Johnson. So is Wade Keller. And the most that they could give out is that they know that he had been wanting his release, as of last year. They know he had been offered a position as a coach at the Performance Center for the duration of his contract. People know that he did sign a new one. But it's like, when did this all take place? How did this happen? You know what? The only person that has that answer is Roderick Strong himself. And if Roderick Strong goes on to that AEW Unrestricted podcast and reveals the truth, the reasoning, then I guarantee you what this does is it sets a precedent. And that precedent is that people like Sean Ross Sapp, Wade Keller, Mike Johnson, and many others that have the inside sources, they're going to now have to double down on those sources. They are going to have to make sure that when they talk to those sources give them the information they need. Because if those sources tell them, well, this is what I heard, they're going to need to double down and say, hey, you got to tell me more. I don't want to be caught off guard. The people that pay us, and support us to get this information as well for themselves to get their minds running, they don't want to be caught off guard. Please, give us more information. Find out more of what you can. They're going to have to double down. They will. Because Sean Ross Sapp was even caught off guard. You look on his Twitter, you listen to what he said in his live review last night, it's like even he didn't see it coming, and he had been wanting to know for months after months after months, what was the status. Because again, up to that moment when Killswitch Engaged hit over the loudspeakers in the arena, everybody still thought Roderick was under WWE contract. I mean, you look at the the current roster page, probably even right now, and he's still listed. It's like, what is going on? What is going on? Did Tony Khan use his lawyers to get Roderick Strong out of his contract? We don't know. We don't know. I guarantee you there are those in WWE and WWE NXT that are just as surprised as all of us. Because nobody saw this. I mean, according to Sean Ross Sapp, when he talked to those within AEW last night, even some of the AEW talents were surprised. Because everybody thought that he was under contract still. And you know what? He might be. He might be, but maybe he works something out to it. It's like, hey, if you're not going to utilize me, let me go work for AEW for the time being until you come up with something. Maybe he did that. I'm not saying he did because that'd be crazy, but maybe he did. We don't know. I mean, I'm just hoping this is not a case to where he basically jumped ship and he's still legally under contract, and basically this is going to cause some kind of illegal situation. I mean, because if it does, that's not good for AEW. That's not a good look for AEW. That's not a good look for Roderick Strong. Because basically, you're just saying, hey, you're not doing anything with me. I'm going to go over here while I'm still under contract. You can't do that. You can't do that. So I don't know what happened, but it's official. He is all elite. He is all elite. But hopefully we'll get information down the line, either from him, either from Roderick Strong himself, or people like Sean Ross Sapp, Mike Johnson, Wade Keller, JD, Just Alex. Maybe they'll get information and they'll find out, exactly what happened here. What was the time frame between leaving WWE and coming to AEW? Hopefully we'll get answers, as the days and weeks go on. And again, the only person that probably could give those answers, I just mentioned him, is Roderick. But just like I said at the beginning, this to me is the moment, I had been waiting for. The moment I knew was coming. Because it just seemed like to me that basically a lot of the wrestling promotions out there and those in charge, like a Triple H, if you will, with WWE, and maybe even a Tony Khan with AEW, and a Scott D'Amore with an Impact and all that, that these people, they're getting wise. They're getting wise to all the, leaks that are going on out there. You think, honestly, Impact likes the fact that, PW Insider is reporting that Trinity the Fatu is Impact bound? You think they like that got out? No, they wanted that to be a genuine surprise. But now people in that Seacoast Stadium in Chicago for what is it, Slugfest this weekend? They're going to be chanting Trinity, Trinity, Trinity. That's what they're going to be doing because they know she's there. Or she's going to be there. So yeah, this to me is an example. In my opinion, this is an example. Honest to God. This is an honest to God example of what I think is going to be the beginning of some obstacles that all these people that have the sources within these companies are going to have to go through, because now even the likes of a Sean Ross Sapp, even the likes of a Wade Keller and a Mike Johnson are not going to be sure whether or not the information they get is true. Because if this can be kept silent, what else is being kept silent? Because like I said, we are now in a time frame where all these people that are in charge of signing, talented contracts, booking them creatively and all that, they're getting wise. And now, because they're getting wise to all this, it's going to be a lot harder, for these insiders to get information. I mean, I know just by looking at Sean Ross Sapp last night and listening to what he said and telling other people who were super chatting with him, he said, hey, what happened last night with the Roderick Strong situation, that surprise, that's not going to happen again, because he's going to double down. He's going to be determined and double down to make sure he gets information. And like I said, that's what they're going to have to do. But I guarantee you, even if they do double down, these promotions are going to double down, in a counter way, are going to counter double down. I'll put it that way. These promotions are going to counter double down in the process to make sure that things are like what they used to be, where you have to tune in and be genuinely surprised about what you see. So hopefully, like I said, we'll get more information. But last night, Roderick Strong's unexpected AEW surprise debut, that's just the beginning, I believe, of a roller coaster, of an obstacle course that these people are going to have to go through to try to get information, because they're going to have to double down, but also be ready to be counter double down by the promotions, because it's going to get a lot harder to know what is true and what is not. But like I said, last night, I had that moment. I had a feeling that moment was coming. This kind of moment was coming that was going to catch everybody off guard, and it did. But let me know what your thoughts are. What did you feel when you saw Roderick Strong make his debut unexpectedly with AEW? Did it catch you off guard? When do you think maybe he got out of his contract? If he did, when do you think it expired? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comment section, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. Like the video. And until next time, guys, I'll talk to y'all later.